Secretary of State Antony Blinken claiming the relationship between the U.S. and Beijing is now stable after meeting with Xi Jinping for more than half an hour yesterday. Blinken also saying the U.S. has moved on from the spy balloon incident. Watch.
So with Beijing, the balloon incident is over. It's water under the bridge.
We did what we needed to do to protect our interests. We said what we needed to say and made clear what we needed to make clear in terms of this not happening again. And so as long as it doesn't, that chapter should be closed.
Joining me now is Missouri Congressman, member of the House Armed Services, Small Business and Agriculture Committees, Mark Alford. Congressman, good morning. And it's not just Antony Blinken saying that. President Biden over the weekend basically saying the same thing. Nothing to see here about a spy balloon that went across the entire nation and, by the way, was hovering over a military installation.
Cheryl, not just one military installation, several, including Whiteman Air Force Base, which is in my district, southeast of Kansas City. It's home of the B-2 stealth bomber, soon to be home of the B-21. This was a critical time in our nation's history where China, Communist China, tested our resolve, tested to see what we would do. This president, this administration failed, and now Secretary of State Blinken has gone to China and really shown weakness there. I think by meeting in the first place with the president of China, the dictator there, Xi Jinping, and now to come back and say that basically, hey, nothing to see here, it's all over, we're done, we're all good. It's not good. This was a spy balloon. There needs to be some repercussions for Communist China.
Yeah, nothing about COVID either, which a lot of people were hoping was going to come up. President Trump slamming President Biden for claiming that spy balloon was, quote, more embarrassing than intentional for Beijing. Here's the former president with Fox's Brett Baier last night. Watch.
I think it's such a stupid
What would you have done?
He doesn't know what he's... They wouldn't have ever had a spy balloon if I was president. There wouldn't be a spy balloon over our country. That spy balloon was going right over our nuclear sites, taking pictures, and we killed it after it was leaving. It was going back home to China, wherever it was going. But we shot it down over the ocean after it had done all of its work.
Congressman, your reaction to that comment?
Well, look, President Trump is absolutely correct, and Joe Biden is wrong. None of this would ever have happened had President Trump still been in office. We wouldn't have the situation we're having with Russia invading Ukraine either. So many things on the world stage now that President Biden has shown weakness, from the way he pulled out of Afghanistan, left 13 of our service members there to die, the way he's destroyed our economy, the way he's demonized fossil fuels and caused inflation to be a tax on everyone in the United States. It's unacceptable. President Trump is right and Biden is wrong.
You know, Congressman, you're also planning on battling what you say are woke policies in the military by attaching amendments to the annual defense policy bill. Tell us more about this, because former Georgia Congressman Doug Collins is with me on set. We're very interested in this and what you have to say.
Well, look, here are the three amendments, Cheryl, and we are very interested in getting the wokeism out of the military. We told Secretary of Defense Austin this, as well as the Joint Chiefs of Staff Milley, when they came before the House Armed Services Committee to testify. You guys got to start acting like generals and not politicians, number one. And we've got to get the diversity, equity, and inclusion programs out. These investigations of what they call extremists in the military. These are patriots who love our Constitution, who love our institutions, who love the way voting is supposed to be. And they want nothing more to show patriotism in their country and to be trying to root it out, maybe because they don't want to get the mandated vaccine and get kicked out of the military. Those are not reasons to call them out for extremism. We are fighting for every person that we can get into the military. We have a big shortfall right now. The Army missed its goal by 25% last year. Only 9% of young people have any interest in getting into the military. We need to encourage people to get into the military who love their country, who want to fight and possibly die for their nation.
Doug, what do you say to all of this?
Yeah, it is, Congressman. I think one of the questions, you got the NDAA markup coming up this week, and I think this is a really important topic right now with wokeism, because you just mentioned recruitment. It's not just the Army, it's the Air Force, it's across the board. As someone who's still in the Air Force, what do you look at and what's being said by the chairman? I know Rogers is looking at this well. What is looking at in NDAA to maybe help recruitment in doing the things that you just talked about? Is there some other things that we can do to get that back with the military where they're proud of it there?
Yes, sir. I've been working on this. We're on military personnel. Jim Banks, our distinguished chairperson, for that. We are working on some things to try to get patriotism back in America. It is sorely lacking. Why is it the left, progressive, woke Democrats have so demonized our country, have demonized our founding fathers? The CRT language that's floating through the hallways of every schools now and being taught in our schools. We've got to get back to some programs where we are letting recruiters into the high schools. Once again, where they're welcome there, where the message of patriotism and God bless America is welcome in our schools.
You know, and also, too, I think when you really look at the pay that these young military men and women, you know, that starting salary for them, a lot of them, depending on where they're stationed in the U.S., are living below the poverty line. I think that's a crime for them because right. I mean, what do we do? What do we do about that? Because, you know, obviously we just went through a very contentious budget fight in Washington between Speaker McCarthy and President Biden, and military funding was a big, you know, argument. There was a lot of back and forth about the military budget in general for defense spending. Your thoughts?
Well, Cheryl, you'll be glad to know that we are intent on giving our military service members a pay raise. We just passed this through the markup last week of the Military Personnel Subcommittee. I think it's 5.5% we're going to give our military members. Now, 2 years ago, 5.5% would be a big deal, but because of Joe Biden and his rampant inflation in our economy, that's not as much as it could be, not as much as it should be, but we're doing what we can to carve that out for our dedicated service members. We're also looking at housing. We have Fort Leonard Wood in our district. They train more than 80,000 personnel. We're trying to make things nicer for the families there, not build them a Taj Mahal, but some nice housing. We've got $50 million set aside and authorized for that in the NDAA. We're trying to make things more livable, more encouraging for people to join the Army. We know it's a lot of time as families coming in. The spouses want to have a comfortable, secure place where they can rear a family while their service member and the family can go off and possibly fight a war with communist China, which, God forbid, hopefully doesn't happen.
Oh, well, certainly, Congressman, we hope that as well. Thank you so much for what you're doing, though, for the men and women that are serving this country, Congressman. Congressman Mark Alford. Great to have you on the show this morning, sir.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, come back anytime.
Thank you, Cheryl.